today's topic is why this Kolawari. So we are trying to understand why are we actually confused. So the topic talks about confusion to clarity. But the first question before we have the answer is why are we actually confused? So if you look at how is chartered accountancy different from any other course, the first significant difference is you don't have a regular curriculum. When I say regular curriculum, if you're joining engineering or if you're joining MBA, if you're joining BBA, or if you're joining any other post-graduation course, everywhere you have a regular curriculum. When I say regular curriculum, you would know what to do from day 1 to day 365 in a given year. There are set of working days, there are set of holidays. So the structure is very programmed. And most importantly, there is somebody who is telling you, okay, do this, do this. In June, you have a semester exam coming up, prepare for that. So when everything is structured, we don't have to take a lot of decisions ourselves. So the need for taking a lot of decisions every day will be drastically reduced. But here coming to CA, the biggest problem here is somebody says that, okay, join IPCC, you clear your group 1, and then for 3 years, you're left on your own. We know that exam is important for us. We know that exams are difficult. The point is we don't have any milestone or we don't have any checks in between. So now, and then next exam is after 3 years. So when you have the gap of 3 years or 2.5 years, it is very difficult for us to have a regular study timetable. It is very difficult for us to have some control on what exactly we are doing. So in this backdrop and taking this into mind, we need to start a mechanism, or we need to start a I would say a structure where you have some periodic targets, where you have some day-to-day or weekly or monthly targets, so that you'll understand whether you're going in the right direction or not. Let's say if you remember your class 6, class 7, class 8, class 9, class 10, there is something called daily assignment. You would be having an assignment, and then you have slip test, you have unit test, you have quarterly, annually, half yearly, and also you have I think mock 1, mock 2, pre-annual 1, pre-annual 2, you will be writing dozens of exams before the main exam. So with this, what happens is, if you're getting 15 out of 25 in your unit test, so you'll understand the problem in the first month itself. So sitting in May or June, when you write your first unit test, you'll get to know, okay, I'm getting only 15 out of 25 in mathematics. The rest of my friends are getting 24 and 25, which means that something is significantly wrong. So the moment you understand it, you'll go to a private tuition, or you'll start working on it. You'll start doing something about it. So when this happens, there is a good opportunity for you to have a periodic check, for you to have a periodic and regular routine to understand where you stand in this journey. And there is somebody telling you that, okay, you're only stuck at 60%, 15 by 25 is 60%. So you have to improve from this 15% or 60% to 75, 80, 90 at an early stage. So we have a regular metric. We also have a very, very concrete way of measuring where you are. This is largely absent in CA. Number 2, we have something called articleship. If you have to understand articleship, you are expected to go to a particular firm. I think most of you are from BNR Associates. Your firm has sponsored your course this time. So there are 9 participants, I believe. So when there are 9 participants from a particular firm, you're going to a firm, you're given X amount of work. So what happens with that is, just because you're going to work, just because you're going for articleship, nobody is reducing the load or nobody is reducing the need to study. On one hand, you're expected to go and complete the work. You're expected to go and finish the articleship duties and responsibilities. At the same time, you're expected to study. Understand this. Your CA curriculum is a mixture of a BTech students 1 year and a BTech, somebody who has qualified BTech and then he's working. So you're mixing a year of working professional and also a college student. So it's a mixture of both. This is the only course which is so grueling. That is the biggest reason why you feel a lot of load. Imagine somebody tells you that you don't have to go for articleship. You just have to sit and study. When you have to sit and study, if you're given 2 years, not 3 years, if you're given even 2 years or 1.5 years to prepare for 8 papers, you have a very good chance of clearing the exam. But when you are expected to study or when you are expected to work, when both has to happen without any specific or additional time frame, it becomes very difficult. On one hand, we don't understand how much importance to give to what. Somebody would say that there's no point in qualifying C in the first attempt if you don't have decent practical exposure. And somebody else would say that what's the point in having a lot of technical knowledge without clearing the exam? So even right now, as we are talking to, half of you wouldn't have a clear understanding about whether qualifying the exam is important or clearing the or gaining technical and financial knowledge in your articleship is important. So we always we are trying to chase something where we don't have a defined objective. We are batting second, but we don't know the target. We don't know where we are chasing. We don't know how many wickets we are lost. We don't know what kind of pitch it is. So that is exactly the reason why we are not able to formulate a strategy. It's like, let's say, a team of 11 people are playing football. So when the 11 people are playing football, you have a clear-cut goal post. So you know that, okay, you're standing this side, you have to take the ball to the other side. It is difficult, but you have a clear-cut goal post, you kind of navigate through it. But now, if the goal post is not there, if somebody is shifting the goal post every now and then, now you are prepared, you are planning to go there. By the time you go there, it is going somewhere. By the time you go there, it is going somewhere. So this is exactly what happens when you plan for joining a coaching class and suddenly you get a new audit. You're expected to go to a different place and work. And this is what happens suddenly. You finally decided to prepare very well for your ITSM in this class. And then institute says that this paper is no longer applicable. You're ready with your theory. Suddenly your institute says that you have MCQs. You have a different pattern of examination which you have to start writing from this attempt. So when the goalpost changes suddenly, we cannot adjust ourselves. We cannot adapt ourselves very quickly. So that is another important reason why we constantly face it. And talking about the emotional aspect of it, if you go to a given engineering college or any regular graduation college, there are a particular timetable. Okay, 9 to 12 classes, 12 to 2 break, 2 to 5 again classes. After 5 onwards, you can afford to chill. You have a place, you have a campus, you have a ground, you have a canteen. In CA curriculum, at the age of 17, 18, most see everybody, just because we joined CA, that doesn't mean we don't have the regular feeling. That doesn't mean we don't have the regular things. We are not interested in regular things. Everybody watches Instagram. Everybody wants to have that fancy life. But the harsh reality is that I'm yet to know a office which has a canteen. We are forced to eat on our table. We are forced to eat on a cubicle or probably a small place where you just have to adjust yourself. So contrarily, if you look at any engineering, they have a separate segment altogether. There is a class, there is a ground, there is a hangout place, there is something else, and they have a lot of excursions. They have a lot of things. So all of these things are missing in your life. So you're not having a vent out. You're not having any option to let out your frustration or to let out your I would say let out your stress. So constantly stress is building up, but we are not having a mechanism to let out the stress. We're not having any mechanism to ensure other aspects of our life. Everybody might be interested in something, any hobby. If it's an engineering college, you'll have a college fest, you have a technical fest, you have a cultural fest. Here you don't have any of that sorts. Once in a while, you might have a CA, I would say, student Sikasa activity, but otherwise, largely it is absent. So taking all of this into consideration without even getting into the difficulty of the subject, without even getting into the complexity of the articleship, you are going through some stress. You are going through some strain because most of your ideal activities, most of your thoughts are restricted. So in this restricted environment, people start feeling suffocated. And the suffocation only increases when you lose an attempt. When you lose an attempt, what will happen is you suddenly wouldn't understand if you are going in the right direction. You suddenly wouldn't know if the book which you have got is right or not. Let's say somebody got 42, somebody has got 39. So till this point of time, they believe that this is the right book. And when the result comes, when you're getting only 39, you have a big question mark. I got only 39. Should I change the book? Should I change my preparation strategy? Or should I change my faculty itself? Or if it is happening 4 to 5 times, should I change my course itself? So for all of this, there are no hard and fast rules. There are no specific answers, but you have to figure it out on your own. So when this happens multiple times, one way the loaded articleship increases, the second hand, you are forced to study something for the second and third time. These books are not the best books. These are not the most interesting books around. So when you're asked to study something for the second and third time, it becomes very stressful for us. It becomes very complicated. It becomes very boring for us. Let's face the fact. So we have to go through some of the boring subjects. It is interesting for the first time, but when you have to read it second, third, fourth time, it becomes very boring. So we have to face it. We have to accept that there are a lot of things which are happening, which are creating a lot of discomfort, which are creating a lot of inconvenience to us. But nobody is there to address it. Nobody is even there to ask about it. Nobody just don't care about it. Our parents are always asking, when are you going to clear? When are you going to clear? Your auditor is always asking, what is wrong with this? What is wrong with this? Or why did you not meet that deadline? Why is the client not happy? When are you going to clear it? I can't give you example. So it's not about one particular firm, but in every given firm, the objective of the firm is very different. The objective of the firm is to ensure that you spend a lot of time on client work. Your personal objective has something else. You believe that, I think, if you spend more time here, your coaching might be affected. And also, no office would leave you at 5:30, 6. No office would leave you before 6, 6:30. And all the coaching, it could be in Gujarat, it could be in Mumbai, it could be in any part of the world, in India for that matter. The coaching center start the class at 6 p.m. So by default, you will be starting at 5:40, 5:50. By the time you reach the class is full. They have to start at the topic. So when you miss the intro of the topic, you cannot follow it. Once you miss 2 or 3 intro sessions of any topic, it will be difficult for you to follow it up. So 4 days, 5 days down the lane, the lecture has completed one chapter already. So this will create more stress. You're going to coaching only to reduce the stress that you're not able to study at home. You're not able to understand the subject. But now when you try to find a new solution, it is leading to further stress. So everywhere, every step of you, it is you are just forced to do certain things which are not expected from a normal teenager or somebody at 20, 21. So this is the backdrop, and this is the problem. And apart from this, there are other problems where you might find some of your friends having good relations. They're getting into some happening relations. Now you have a question. Should I even get into one? Is it allowed for a CA student? Is it a good choice? Is it a bad choice? And whether you are in CA or you are in IIT or you are in any other curriculum, the basic feelings towards the opposite gender or the basic feelings about life and any other activity would be same. Everybody would love to travel. See, no matter what you're doing, everybody would like to travel around the world. Everybody would like to have a different curriculum. Everybody want to have a week off, not doing the same thing again and again. So when you're having all of these aspects, it is quite important to know that what is causing you this discomfort. Why are you feeling so confused and scattered? It's not just about the examination. When you're consistently having this feeling throughout the 3 years, something has to be done. You just can't leave it just like that. And there is no point in suffering in silence, because you have the right, you have the authority to question it. You have the authority to look at your ecosystem and understand, okay, I'm being pressurized. I'm suffering a lot within. And most importantly, even after putting a lot of efforts, the results are not beneficial. And still somebody is pointing it. I'm sure all of you are serious, all of you are sincere. The fact that you took up CA as a career, you took up CA as a profession, I have to respect you, because you know that. It's not that somebody gave you a CD, you looked at it blindly, you joined. So you might have got over motivated, but the point is, I'm sure every one of you here know that CA comes with a pass percent of only 10%, 15%. You're ready for that. And most importantly, ready for all the sacrifices. You're ready for doing articleship for 6 hours, 8 hours and go back to home and study. But the only problem right now is you just feel lost. You just feel that something is missing. You're not able to find yourself. Forget about finding something else. You're not able to find your own energetic and sparking personality. Before joining CA, you're somebody totally different. Now, if you look at it, it's completely opposite. Sometimes, if I had to give you the analogy, it's like Rajnikant before and after in that Pasha movie. Before the flashback, he's all flamboyant. After the flashback, he just shuts down everything and remains calm and composed, and he doesn't want his personality to be known to others. So for most of the students, it's like that. When I have these personal counseling sessions, they'll say that, sir, I was never like this. I'm always energetic. I'm always optimistic. But 2 years down the lane into this course, 2 years down into this career, something is bothering me inside. I don't know what it is. It's not that I don't want to study. Of course I want to study. Of course I want to go ahead and build my career. Of course I want to clear the first attempt. Of course I want to get a good name for my firm and my partner. So everybody is having the right intentions, but the only problem is you lack some direction, you lack some orientation. In fact, if you remember, the first year when you go to institute, they always say that you have to do an orientation course. So what exactly is orientation all about? Again, they try to teach you about the direction, but that's not sufficient enough. Even I am faculty at orientation. The curriculum is definitely necessary, but there are far more fundamental problems. There are far more bigger problems which have to be answered, and these problems keep adding. Now we have joined, and 6 months down the lane, there is one problem. 9 months down the lane, there is another problem. and sometimes a client suddenly comes and asks you. At that time, the question is, should you respond immediately, or should you meet your senior, or should you call your boss? But at the same time, you're also conscious that you should not post to the client that you don't know that. So when that happens, your client's reputation or your firm's reputation might be at stake in front of the client. You might do something for the good of the firm, but the reaction from your boss might be slightly different. Because see, what you intend to do is one thing, but the outcome is different. Expectations and reality. So your expectation is that you're doing a fair job. Your expectation is that you want to satisfy the client, but the reality is that you did a mistake. You did something which is not supposed to be done. So that is another aspect which you have to take care. So this is the brief context in which I'm talking about. And also, I want to tell you that we will be extensively covering three major aspects. The first and foremost aspect is what exactly is happening with it. So I'm just talking to you directly, not in the capacity of your article student and not in the capacity of ICA student. Forget articleship, forget ICA for now. I'm just talking to you as an young Indian or a youngster who is at 20, 21, 22, probably until 18 to 25, and there is somebody who is at 26. So you are in this bracket, 18 to 25 bracket. So without even talking about the course, there are certain things which you have to build for yourself. Because when I say personality, this personality is not about a professional personality. This is a personal personality. Personality development is all about what we are as a person, how we experience life. With or without CA, you have to go through certain things. So today we are slightly focusing on your personal life. We are just slightly focusing on how exactly are you experiencing life independently, pure life, pure experience. Before let's forget everything else. So with this backdrop, we'll just move slightly forward, and tomorrow and subsequently we'll look at it. We'll look at the careers. What exactly can you do in your articleship? How to make the best out of it, and also we'll also tell you some quick insights about the upcoming careers. What are the top 10 careers, 15 careers, 20 careers which you should be looking towards, and what is it you want to do in the articleship to reach that career? So you have all the options coming. But before that, just respect yourself. You're not just about chartered accountancy. You have a different personality which is beyond your profession. Okay, so we'll slightly move towards that. Before that, I'll take few quick questions. What will happen is we'll keep this session very interactive. In the last 20 minutes, I have tried to think from your perspective, think from your thought process, and try to address the major questions. And apart from this, I'm sure you have a lot of questions. So I want to take further questions before I go ahead and solve everything within the session. And talking about me, I cleared my CA at the age of 21 in the first attempt, and I got a rank in CWA. And CS also, I just left one module in the finals just because I didn't have time subsequently after clearing CA and CWA, because you're allowed to do only one course. I picked up CS after that, so I left it. And I attempted civil services twice, and both the times I cleared mains. I wrote mains. But in civil services, the problem is you have something called reservation, flat 50% reservation. So in CA, the fortunate part is that there is zero reservation. So it is based on your merit. That's one way. And civils, you have only limited seats. Every year you have only 800, 900, 10 lakh people apply. Ultimately 800, 900 will get, and out of which only 400 are open for open category like me. So that was the reason why probably I did not make it. And also I should have done better. It's not just reservation. And there are many things which has to be worked better for civil services. And apart from it, I am a regular faculty for civil services and also chartered accounting students. And mostly I deal with this personal aspects. I'm a life coach, so I'll be dealing with all of this. And couple of extra things we can help you is, since I have my own startup, some of you have clearly mentioned that you want to consider the fact called charterpreneurship, where living in your CA career, having your own practice, you want to pick up some extra aviation or probably some extra side hustle which will help you to create a brand, which will help you to create a business for you. You are also ready for that. So all the static requirements will be covered in the sessions. And before we proceed further, I'll give you some 5 to 7 minutes. So if you have any question, just unmute yourself. You just have to unmute yourself and make sure that you're speaking loud enough so that the question is audible to everyone. Okay. So go ahead and ask some questions now. Notebook. Thank you. Guys, if you have to ask, you have to unmute yourself. You have an option to unmute. Yeah. One important aspect which I would parallelly like to pick up is your communication, articulation, and also management with client and all. So I want everyone to speak. Answer is here, but you should be able to communicate something in a quick context. I know that it's a different scenario for you. You're doing it for the first time probably, but jump into this and make sure you participate throughout the sessions. That's the best way you can make good utilization of whatever it is. So Harshit, you have mentioned that you want to improve your confidence and other aspects can clear your CA final and also know about the upcoming opportunities. So can you elaborate this? So what is the issue with your confidence? What exactly you mean when you're talking about the upcoming opportunities? Unmute yourself. First unmute yourself. You have muted yourself. Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, actually, I'm pursuing CA final now.
Yeah.
I'm preparing to give my attempt in May 2020. Sorry, November 20. Actually, what I have done is, I chose to give for online classes, sir. Totally. I didn't go for any coaching center or anywhere else. My native is Chittoor, and I prefer to the state Tirupati, and I went for online classes totally.
Okay.
I feel a bit uncontent that did I take a right decision? Now, actually, why I choose online classes is because I need a self control of myself, sir. Because if I join some coaching center, at the timings I'll go there. We'll go there sometimes restrictedly, sir. Like it will be if you are at 6 to 7. The coaching is at morning 6 to 9. Sometimes we wake up and sometimes we won't wake up. We forcefully get if the class is at 6 a.m. we forcefully get wake up at sometimes. But I need a control like getting my own schedule and my own timetable. I need a self control of myself, and I have to complete the portion and I have to qualify my exams. I made a resolution in such a way, sir. Sometimes I feel that I made a wrong decision or like that's it. That's why I'm a bit.
And in fact, even Yashwant had just pinged that I want to know how to manage that. Okay, I'll answer the question together. So Harshit, first of all, when you to go for online class, I think you took the decision much before the corona. Took it much before this.
Sir, there's lot of disturbance.
Okay, so I want the rest of you to mute yourself. Only when you're talking, just unmute. Otherwise, just mute yourself. Is it clear now? Am I clear now? Audible? Okay, yes. All right. So when you're talking about online classes, if you look at what is happening right away, ideally we would do it offline, and mostly this class would happen in Hyderabad. And whenever I do an offline session, I'll have at least 5 people from 5 different states saying that when is it happening in Nagpur, when is it happening in Pune, when it is happening in Delhi. So what happens is that, as you rightly pointed out, in online you're making geography irrelevant. So geography is not at all relevant, so that will give you an additional opportunity, and you might miss the class because of their problem or your problem or the problem in the firm. So this way you have complete control over when to study, how to study, and how much to study at a given point of time. That is the advantage of having online class. And the second part is, we are recording this webinar. So because if somebody, there are a lot of people who ask us saying that we want to have a relook at it, and we kind of restrict this circulation, but then we kind of recording this webinar. So what is happening here is, you have the opportunity to go back and go through this webinar once again. In direct class, it's not the case. But there is a catch here. The advantage is also the disadvantage. Let's say, if you look at what is happening right now, I'm locking your time from 5 to 6 p.m. I'm locking your time from 5 to 6 p.m. for the next 1 week. I'm damn sure without this webinar, without you paying something for this, there is no other way that you'll do something consistently for the next 1 week. I'm not just talking about focusing on confusion to clarity. It could be reading a book like this. I think some of you might know this, The Power of Subconscious Mind. I'll talk about this in some time. So you can read this book continuously for a week, for 1 hour. Then the book will get at least 70% completed. But the point is, we cannot do it. We cannot do it because we don't have the self-discipline. We don't have the control. We don't perceive the importance of it. That is the reason why we are not able to do what we are not doing. So the first advantage of going for an offline class is, you have something very specific. I'll tell you this. You can actually look at it from this angle. Now, in your firm, whatever it is, it could be VNR or something. If you go and tell your sir that, sir, I have a class at 6:30, I'm leaving. If it's an offline class, okay, sir, just leave. Imagine if it's an online class. Your sir knows that it's an online class. You say that I have an online class at 6:30, I'm leaving. It's like lol. What's there about online class 6:30? You can attend at 9:30. So this is what I'm talking about. So the level of seriousness which you give and which somebody else gives you will drastically reduce. So if you think that you have decent control over self, if you think that you can do some targets systematically, absolutely online classes are beautiful. And also the best part is that the efficiency is far more in an online class, because I can keep you in orientation. I kind of engage people for 6 hours straight continuously. And I'm not somebody who is so much passionate about making some fun activities for the sake of it. So the content is very deep and continuous, and I speak very fast. So I'm able to engage people for 6 hours continuously. But in online, it is very difficult. The moment we hit 90 minutes is the optimum webinar time. If you move beyond 90 minutes, it will be difficult for you because you're not seeing me directly. You are sitting in a different situation. You're not seeing your friends. You kind of feel a bit restless. So in online, it is difficult to focus on something continuously for a longer period of time. That is the reason most of the faculty, if offline, if they're giving you 200 hours of content, online they'll give you only 120 or 130. In online, it's only 70% of the time they'll cover the entire content. So there will be time saving for you also. The same content will be covered in lesser time. And another advantage is that, let's say you missed out something, you can pause it. So you want to go to a loo break, you can pause it. It could be anything. But this is again the problem. In offline class, when the call comes, you can't ask your sir to stop it. I'll just take this call and come back. You can't do it. But in an online call, you just pause it. Even your friend calls, even customer care calls, you just pause the class and talk to them. So the level of seriousness drastically gets reduced. So make a fine balance. If you're not really sure, let's say somebody has not yet joined, what I would recommend is join an offline class, join an online class parallelly. Initially, when you join, do both. Give yourself 1 month of time, or give yourself a realistic deadline: 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. In 4 weeks and 5 weeks or whatever it is, look at the progress in the online class, look at the progress in the offline class. Then you will be able to understand which is suiting your personality type, which is suiting you. I'm somebody who strongly recommend that. See, in terms of efficiency, being a fintech entrepreneur, online is the future. Online is the thing, and that is how it works. But if you ask me a very personal and something which is close to my heart, I would say one-to-one interaction. Nothing beats one-to-one interaction. It's not just over the class. When you look at somebody, a qualified chartered accountant regularly, you'll feel more motivated. When you're sitting along with the people, like 200, 300 people. Now there are 15, I believe there are 22 participants right now, but you're not able to see. You're only 3 people or 4 people visible. So you don't get the feeling of a classroom. You don't have that complete classroom feeling. So this is something which is slightly lacking in online classes right now. So if I have to conclude this again, it's individual decision. If you think you have some basic self-discipline, online classes are budget friendly, they're efficient, they'll save you a lot of time. And offline, if you're going to a class of 3 hours, if you have to go from Kukatpalli to Amirpet, again, for attending a class of 3 hours, you have to spend 1.5 hours in traffic. So it's again counterproductive. At 9:30, you have to start back, and by the time you reach your home, it will be 11. In that 1.5 hour, in online class, you will have completed the next lesson also. So always have a mix of both, that which will work. And even better is that a lot of faculty conduct 2 or 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 1 week. Even we do that sometimes. Sessions, fast track sessions. So have an online class and then match it up with some offline thing, so that you'll have the best of both. And this is how you can take a decision. And any decision which you take, remember this is very important. Any decision which you take in the next 3 years, always buy time with money. Remember the golden rule: buy time with money. People do it the other way around. We call it penny wise and pound foolish. So a lot of people say that, sir, I got the opportunity in 2 firms. One firm is paying me 4,000. The second firm is paying me 5,000. I like the first firm, but the second firm is paying me 1,000 extra. So the way you should look at it is, understand that articleship is purely and only about learning. It does not have any earning component. Articleship is purely and only about learning all the time. That's the right. So when you're talking only about learning, you should not even think about the earning component. Altogether, everything, hardly it's a matter of 25,000-30,000 over the period of 3 years for you. When that happens, it's not even your 15 days of your salary after you clear your CA. So for 15 days salary or 1 month salary, don't risk the chances of clearing your CA. Any decision, take a decision completely in terms of effectiveness, quality, and time. Don't bring money in taking a decision. If you have to choose between online and offline, the metrics have to be this. Just because online is 2,000 cheaper and 1,000 cheaper, don't go for it. That is not why I'm talking. Even if online is costlier, go for it if you think that is making sense for you. Anyways, you don't have money. Anyways, you have to depend on parents. Anyways, it is difficult. So for depending on parents, if you have to depend for 10,000 instead of depending on 12,000, go for it. Anyways, you are depending. If you are so grateful about your parents, if you want to contribute, clear CA in the first attempt, first month, second month, third month, buy everything for your home, change the pattern, get a bike for you, take everything. Okay. So make sure you always take the right decision, giving the right reasons. But don't bring in money here if you are thinking about it. That's another aspect which I want to tell. Okay, so Irfan has asked a question. I think it's the same thing which I've discussed. When you're buying an online class, a pen drive class, any class, a live class, or whatever it is, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You don't have the control over it. You don't have the self-control to do something. So when you don't have control, if you ask me how Him Academy is solving it, we are having mentorship program. So when in mentorship, we don't teach you subjects. We'll only tell you that give us 1 month, 2 months, we'll help you complete the syllabus. If you're targeting your May attempt 2020, somebody says that I have my May attempt in 2020. We don't even ask a single question about coaching. You take coaching from anywhere around the country. You read any book, self-study or whatever it is, will only maximize your chances. And when we say this, what we do is we'll infuse intensity and consistency into your preparation. So when I say intensity, you have to read it at a particular pace. Let's say if you have to complete this book, I generally complete any book of 200 to 300 pages in a single sitting. In a single sitting, I would complete maximum out of it. Because what will happen is, if I'm reading it in slow motion, 2 pages or 3 pages per day, it will take forever. I'll complete it never. So instead, I just sit, complete, and move on to the next one. What will happen with this is there is X amount of efficiency, and most importantly, in a given time frame, we will be able to complete it. So when I say intensity, we have something loaded in a particular period of time. And what is consistency? We have to do something consistently over a period of 1 week, or period of 10 days, period of 20 days. So when you mix both the elements into your preparation, you'll have a good chance of clearing it. But when you cannot do it, when you don't do it, this is exactly the problem. What most of you are facing. This is exactly the problem what many of you are missing in your preparation. You have the books, you have the faculty, you have the knowledge, you have the interest, but what is missing? You're not able to generate intensity. You're not able to generate consistency yourself. When you're not able to do it, you should get it from an external source. Okay. This is what we are discussing. Okay, couple of questions. One is about what about changing the firm for better experience? Some need some help on speed reading techniques. Okay, so this is a classic thing. When we take a decision, understand this very important. This is very important. When we are taking a decision, we'll take a decision based on the factors happening at that point of time. Let's say in 2019, somebody is planning to get married. In 2019, based on his profile at that point of time, based on his social stature at that point of time, based on his earning capability, based on his qualification, he's having access to X number of people. But what happens is 5 years down the line, he's well settled in the career. He's just qualified. He just has a car, bungalow, everything. Then if he looks back and realizes that his wife is not of the same standard, his wife is not of the same quality, probably there is a difference in their framework. So this is a very bad thing to do, because in 2025 you are in this level, but in 2019 you are at a different level. That is the reason why some of the people wonder, why is this hero married? Why is this hero marrying this? Why is this heroine how come this heroine got married to this guy? How come this hero got married to this normal woman? So this is the problem when you look at something on a futuristic basis. When you are joining a particular firm, and the day you are joining, you are not satisfied, you are not sacrificing anything, you are not doing anything for the sake of the firm. At that point of time, with the available options to you, you always join the firm which is best for you. That is how you take a decision. So, but subsequently, once you enter the firm, after 1 year, 1.5 years, you'll meet somebody from a different firm. Suddenly you realize that, okay, I am getting only 4,500 days, somebody is giving 5,000. I'm having only 5 days here, I'm having 6 days. So this is the problem of loyalty. So this, because the way you realize that there is a better firm, there is a good chance that your CA partner would realize that there are better article students than you. Even he would know that in the next interview, if you think that, okay, this guy is a lot more better, should he fire you? Should he say that? Should he think that I'm giving you 5,000 for clearing only one group? There is another guy who is ready to join for 4,500 after clearing 2 groups. So immediately he accepts that point, and should he terminate you? So this is not how exactly it should be working. Unless there is a very strong and compelling reason, unless there is some distortion of information when you're joining, if you're joining for a different expectation, this is a very bad idea. And it's a question mark on it, because a lot of people keep coming to me. The moment they know that I have a firm, the moment they know that I maintain my firm in a far more significant way, we operate like Big Four. So we kind of operate our firm in the way all of this Google and Facebook operates, where we give a lot of freedom, and the office is also structured differently. Somebody comes in, they suddenly get excited. The point is, I won't encourage it, because you have committed to somebody to work for a particular period of time. You should fulfill that commitment. After that, you can take something. After that, you can take a different decision. But as long as this commitment happens, it could be a firm, it could be a relationship, it could be any experience. Make sure you kind of stick to the decision which you taken at that point. Subsequent information, you should not take many things. Okay. Next question. There are 2 questions, both of them linked to final attempts. Somebody has mentioned that I have taken multiple attempts. I have written CA multiple times, but I'm losing interest because I'm constantly failing. So what should I do to break this barrier, and how should I focus, and how should I ensure that I go ahead and clear my CA? This is one question. Second question, somebody has mentioned even the attempts. I don't want to take names here. So they have mentioned they have spent close to 10 attempts trying to crack it, but they did not crack it. I'll tell you a very pragmatic answer here. Let's say if you want to go from Lagdi Kapul to Gachibowli, I think most of you are from Hyderabad, so you can relate. If you're trying to go from Lagdi Kapul to Gachibowli, the question is not about how fast you go. Somebody immediately starts his car and go. Somebody immediately starts his bike and runs away. Somebody goes in a metro. So everybody is in a rush to reach to Gachibowli. The first question you should ask yourself is it the right direction? So if you have to go to Gachibowli, should you take a left or right? Without thinking that part, if you blindly take any direction which you want and put in all your efforts, you'll never reach. It's not about 10 attempts. Even if you write 100 attempts without going in the right direction, without having the right techniques, without having the right skill set, you will never reach it. So today, the moment of realization, wherever April 1st, 2020, just remember one thing. If you are doing a wrong technique 100 times would not make it right. I'm repeating it. Doing a wrong technique 100 times would not make it right at any cost. So you have to ensure that you do the right thing. So when you're taking a new decision, just give us one more chance. Just give us one more time. So probably if you're writing your May attempt, so we have a lot of programs for that. Whatever it is, or you can do it on your own. But make sure that whatever you have done, throw it away. Just leave it. Just dump it. It's okay. Spend some time. That's okay. Don't worry about it. It's already sunk cost. Already whatever happened is happened. Let's not live in the past. At this point of time, the first decision which I have to take is, now I'm starting new. Now when I'm starting new, what should I do? I have already accumulated CA knowledge over the last 2-3 years. So should I spend 3 more months in trying to utilize the 3 years knowledge, or should I leave everything and join the next course? So when you look at it, you already invested 97, you already invested 90. So give yourself the right time, give yourself the right techniques, and go ahead and put in your all out effort. Only one attempt. So all the people are asking me, just give yourself only one attempt, not more than that. If you want to quit after this attempt. But this attempt, you have to do things differently. You have to do things which would work. You have to do certain things. It's like, I'll tell you this. There are people who score a century in 31 balls. I'm talking about AB de Villiers. And there are people who never score a century in their lifetime. It's not about the amount of balls, but they don't know batting. They don't know the right technique. They don't know how to tackle good balls and how to leave bad balls and all of it. So when you don't know this, you'll never reach there. You'll never get there. So the game is in understanding the right way to do something, the right methodology to do something. So when you actually do it in the right way, it would just need one attempt. Why would you need hundreds of attempts? Why would you need dozens of attempts? The requirement is not such. Even ICS structure is maintained in such a way that you come, right, clear, go away. That's it. That is how it is built. The more attempt you are taking, you might clear, but you'll become a very frustrated chartered accountant, which is not good for the CA fraternity also. So I would strongly say that all the people who have taken multiple attempts, start with a new normal, dispose of everything. Let's say you're writing group 1 in May 2020. Group 1 in May 2020. You have to get 200 marks. Now, let's not look at your 120 or 130. I only want 100 marks from your previous attempt. I'm sure all of you are getting around 80 to 100. So, for all the effort you have put in till this point, take up 100 marks from the past. So, 100 is already there. If you're writing an exam today, most likely you'll get around 20-25 per subject. 100 is anyways you are getting by default. Let's not worry about it. From this 100, we need additional 120. So we need additional 120 marks so that we're reaching the safe score of 220. So we have 3 months now. So when you have 3 months, when you have to get 120 marks, which means that every day should give you a net of 4 marks. Every day should give you a net of 4 marks. When I say net of 4 marks, net is in the numerator. So to get a net of 4 marks, you have to cover a gross of 10 to 12 marks. So in denominator, you have to cover at least 10 marks. So every day, if your preparation is covering a syllabus which is equivalent of 10 marks, then you'll be able to add 4 marks out of it. So when you plan this preparation in such a way, you'll understand how much time to spend on what. Let's say you're spending a chapter, you're spending 2 days for a chapter in this 3 months. The chapter maximum weightage is only 4 marks. So out of 4, you can only get 2.5. For 2.5 marks, you're spending 2 days. It is just random waste of time because you are not doing the right strategy. You're not doing smart work. Instead, have a coverage of 20 marks in that. To cover 20 marks, even if you write only half of it or 30% of it, you'll get 6 or 7 marks. So you need to have elemental level of clarity to this level. So when you clear, when we give you a timetable, we'll ensure that every hour will give you 1 mark directly. Every hour we keep adding 1 mark. So that is how we structure. Okay, if I have to talk about strategic management and IT and SM, most of the people failed it. So IT SM 50 marks. How exactly would you get it? So out of this 50 marks, if I have to get 25 marks, what are the 3 chapters which would give me 15 marks? There are 3 chapters in IT. Out of the 7 chapters in SM, there are 2 or 3 chapters which will directly give you 16-17 marks. So no matter what, let me first complete these 3 chapters completely. So I'm getting 15 marks here, I'm getting 15 marks here. So by reading only 6 chapters, I'm able to complete 25 to 30 marks. It's done. So with 30% of syllabus, I'm able to get good amount of marks, which is like 60-70% of the required marks. So this is called Pareto analysis. I think you have read it in costing. Put in 20%, get 80%. 20% of the time will give you 80% of the result. So you have to do this without jumping into the preparation directly. You have to do it. And second part is that when you're studying for 8 hours a day, I'm sure with a negative mindset, without an open mindset, your outcome is only for 5 to 6 hours or even less than that. It's like Facebook. You open the book, you face it, the book is facing you, nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. So you're only fooling yourself saying that you're going to a library and reading for say 6 to 8 hours. But effective time which you study in that is not even 4 to 5 hours. So at the end of the day, you'll feel frustrated, you'll feel tired, and you won't get anything. The game is all about what you extract out of it. The game is all about quality. ICI would not look at what you have done in the last 3 years. Like, it only looks at what is happening in the 3 hours. 3 hours is the game. What are you putting in the paper? It only looks at it. The next 3 years, it doesn't bother. It doesn't have a CC camera mechanism to know what you have done throughout your last 3 years. So when you're trying to communicate something in that 3 specific hours, you have to put your best. When I say, give me 7 hours, I'll transform your life significantly. Whatever I have in my life, I have to put in my best in this 1 hour. I have to ensure that I am giving my best shot here. So you have to do that. You have to put in mental, emotional, and physical efforts to ensure that this 3 hours should be completely focused, and it should give maximum amount of inputs to the people who are correcting your paper, evaluating your paper. So for you to make the most out of this 3 hours, you have to put in systematic and continuous work for 3 years. And now, if it does not look like a good equation, I'll tell you the example of Usain Bolt. Mr. Usain Bolt, if you look at the record of it, he has completed that 100 meters race in 9.58 seconds. But for him to complete that in 10 seconds, he spent 10 years running. To complete something in 10 seconds, he has practiced it for 10 years. The same equation for you doing something in 3 hours, there is no harm in spending 3 years here. No harm. And for him, it's a risky race. So nobody would get paid for running. If he see, now I will ask a simple question. When Usain Bolt won the race, who got a second prize? Who got the third prize? Nobody knows. They're world champions. They won silver and bronze medal in Olympics. Even then, we don't know them. This is what it is. So the difference between him and him is not even a second. It's not even the time which I'm talking about this. It's less. It's a fraction of a second. I can't even say it. By the time I say it, it is over. So that is the level of margin of error which people operate. So when you have 3 long years and when you have 3 long hours to write an exam, we should not compete. We should not complain. We should not have bothering about it. We should have the mechanism to ensure that we use all of it to go towards a particular purpose in the right and linear direction. So I think I have covered most of the questions here. So when you're talking about group study helps in some aspects, but not in all the aspects. What will happen is, in group study, let's say 10 people are discussing about auditing. On a boring hour, instead of discussing about Jabardast or any other idiotic serial, it's better to discuss about subject. That way, group study works. But group study is not a substitute for individual study. You can use it for collaborating your preparation as a supplement to your existing preparation, but it is not the main part of the preparation. So you can definitely use it for theoretical subjects. Even I did a lot of group study. It is definitely helpful. But just because you study one subject in groups, don't miscalculate that it is already completed. Don't think that the syllabus is completed from your end. So this is also very important to note. And with this, let us conclude today's session. We have just reached the other end of the session. We have spent the last 60 minutes in discussing various aspects. So this is only to give you a quick intro. About how exactly, why are you confused and why are you, see, okay, I'll help you with this. So let's not, I'll answer all the questions and how exactly you can improve from this. And that's okay. Praveen, that's totally fine. I get it. So when you don't have anybody, I'll tell you, I'll help you with this. It's okay. So Praveen is saying that he is staying in a different part of the city or different part of the town where you don't have access to other people. So how can group study be possible? Just like the way we're discussing this, group study can be done. In fact, I work with EY. I work with clients who are at London, who are at UK, who are at USA. So we kind of discuss a lot of matters just like this. So there are no boundaries with the use of technology. Group study can happen anywhere. Even a WhatsApp call would do. If Zoom is costlier, you don't have premium subscription. Even a WhatsApp call would do. You don't have to worry about it. Even a regular teleconference call would do. So that is not the point. Let's look at the efficiency of group study. And group study would work only with a bunch of efficient individuals. When the individual himself is not sorted and the individual himself is not clear, the group will automatically become like that. So before we move into it, let's sort ourselves individually. Let's address this issues individually. Okay, I think we have covered a good amount of questions this time from my end and your end, and thanks for the wonderful participation. And one thing I can guarantee tell you that uh, you don't have to suffer in silence. You can be proud of yourself for taking a decision. Don't even look at the outcome. The fact that you have entered CA, you can tap yourself, you can pat yourself. You did a perfect job, so you don't have to worry about it at all. So from now, start with that confident approach. Just because you failed a couple of times, that's okay. Understand this. Winning a match against Bangladesh or losing a match against Australia, I would say let's lose a match against Australia. If somebody is talking about I cleared my BTech first year in first attempt, that's bullshit. Let's not talk about it. Somebody got 95% in BCom. That's not something which you're worried about. In CA, when 80 people fail, yes, people are meant to fail because of this curriculum. So only 20 people are clearing it. So you're not a very random exception. But having said that, let's move from this 80 segment to 20 segment. We'll look at the mechanism. But the most important aspect which I want to clarify and tell you once again is don't suffer in silence. You take a good decision, be proud of yourself, and throughout the journey of 1 week, I'll systematically help you go through this journey all throughout. Okay, this is what I want. And throughout this 1 week, we'll be doing a series of activities. One of the important aspect is your communication skills. I'm very specific about how you articulate things and how you communicate things. After this week, you should be able to communicate very significantly. Your friends, your parents, your boss, everybody should notice that, okay, something has changed in you. I'm very specific about it. Anybody who spends 7 to 10 hours with me should have that change in communication. So every day after the class, every day, starting from today, you have to record 1 minute video, selfie video, 1 minute. You can ask somebody to hold it or you can do a 1 minute video. And if you are not comfortable sharing in the group, you can send me personally in WhatsApp, my WhatsApp personal message. Okay, I want a 1 minute video from each one of you every day talking about the session experience. What will happen is at the end of the week, when you have 7 videos, you'll automatically notice the change in you. Video 1, video 2, how you are expressing, how you are talking about something. This is for you. So the clear-cut change and the clear-cut change in how exactly you're communicating would be noticed at the end of 7 days. Until that, trust me, don't think about it too much. Just record a 1 minute video, or probably 1 2 minute video. Just start briefly introduce yourself, your name, and just talk about what went right in the session. What is your session experience? What did you learn today? Whatever it is, we're just trying to create a context for you to speak. So every day, just do it. I won't ask it every day, but I want every one of you to do it. Okay. So all of it is important. And I'm also promising you one thing. We have something called mentorship. When we have a mentorship program, that is one of the programs which I'll just neutralize this call. I'm getting a call. Okay, so we have a mentorship program where we have a lot of CS students who are preparing for the respective attempts. We'll give them syllabus, we'll give them timetable, we'll call them almost every day, we'll conduct exams, we'll take care of it. So normally, if your probability of clearing an exam is 15%, if you're writing multiple attempts, your probability of clearing an attempt is less than 5%. What we do is, with us, we'll ensure that we'll sort all your issues so that you'll move from 15% to 70-80%. It will become reverse. If you're writing an attempt, there is a good chance that you'll clear the exam by 80%. Only 15 to 20% will, the probability of failing is only 15-20%. Even that also, if you don't execute something properly. Otherwise, you can say that it is impossible to fail when you do something properly. So that is exactly what we are offering. So out of this cohort of 20 people, I'll have an offer for 3 people. This is dependent on the activity. This is depending on the participation. This is depending on the change you go through this 1 week. So generally, we charge around 10,000. The package range from 10 to 25,000, depending on what you do. But for these 3 people, the top 3 people, for one person among you, will offer you that for free. If you're writing your May attempt, we'll give it for May attempt. Or if you're writing it in November, whenever you want to take an attempt, you can utilize it. Our CA mentorship program will be absolutely free for the first best student here. For the second best, we'll give 50% discount. For the third best, we'll give you a flat 25% discount. For out of all of you, for 3 participants, we'll give you that. Now the game is not about joining that or not, but the game is to understand how would you utilize the maximum out of it? See, the idea is not to create some level of competition. That's not the intention. But the point is, from here onwards, the metrics would change. I'll tell you why did I pick those students. The learning point from here is, out of 20 people, why did I pick 3 people? If you know that reason why somebody picks it up, tomorrow you'll know, out of a group discussion of 15 people, why only 3 people are getting selected. Out when you go and attend an interview, when 10 people give an interview, why is it 1 person getting selected? Until your school level, it's very clear. Somebody gets 97%, 98%, 99%. I'm not telling you parameters. I'm not telling you metrics. And I don't tell you that if you do this, you'll be winning. You'll do this, you'll be winning. All the instructions are open. All the instructions are clear to everybody. But be conscious. Participate in it. Get yourself completely involved. Okay. So all the activities which we are asking, not just this any activity which is coming to you. I want 100% participation from day 1 to day 7. Okay. Apart from this, if you have any question, please reach out to us. Send me a WhatsApp message. Send me anything. Just say, however you feel comfortable. Reach out to me. All of it will be answered. I may not be able to reply you one-on-one individually at each and every moment because I close to get 400, 500 messages every day. So I can't reply everything. So, but I'll get back to you. It will be considered. Okay. So thank you for the wonderful and patient hearing. I hope this session has been helpful to you. I'll be awaiting for your 1-minute video at the earliest possible. And don't think about anything. Nobody is judging you. This is to start from X to move to 10X. That's it. If you're at 10%, let's go from 10 to 100. If you're at 90, let's go from 90 to 100. As simple as it. Nothing to hide. And don't worry about English. English is just another language. If you are coming from a different background, if you spend most of our time talking in Telugu, suddenly we can't pick up English. There's nothing to feel ashamed about it. A lot of people don't know Telugu. After staying in Telugu states for 10-15 years, they can't speak Telugu fluently. Even they should be ashamed about it. So if you're not knowing a language, it's okay. We'll pick it up. So don't worry about it. But I want this video to be done every day. And also any assignment coming from us, I want that to be strictly followed. And keep shooting us questions. And we are concluding it now. Okay. Thank you very much. Goodbye. See you tomorrow at 5 p.m. Thank you.